Hello, guys. Good afternoon. Hello, hello.
Hi, teacher. Good afternoon.
How are you?
Teacher, good afternoon.
Hello. How
Hello,
are
teacher.
you? All right, guys. Very good. So let's begin our second class of level B2.2. So today is June 29th, and we will begin the second class, right? So let me show you the agenda before we start. I know that you didn't finish the grammar part of future forms with teacher Sandy, so don't worry, you are going to continue on that with her in the next part of the class. You will practice a little bit more, do some exercises. But for now, in this part, we're going to continue advancing in the program. So in unit number 1, so today we're going to watch a video about pronunciation. It's a little and short video to see the different pronunciations of the ending OUGH in English, okay? It has different pronunciations. So we're going to see, after the video, we're going to open the book on pages 10 and 11 to do a reading exercise, then a listening exercise in groups. And if we have enough time, we will continue with the point in an argument and the speaking for 30 seconds each student, okay? So I don't know if we will have enough time to cover everything, but if we can finish here, so we will do the speaking part in the next class, which is next Monday, okay? So that is our program for today. And now I'm going to check the attendance to begin our class. Let me turn off my camera for a moment. Now let's check. Gerson Arizmendi.
Hi, teacher. Present.
Hello, thank you. Jean-Claude Barrera. Jessit Calderón.
Present, teacher.
Okay, Natalia Camargo.
Present, teacher.
Andrés Correa.
Present, teacher.
All right. Continue Silvia Cuellar.
Present, teacher.
Johan Duque.
Present, teacher.
Elkin Fernández. Elkin. No. Okay. Ginette Fonte. Perdón, Julián Figueroa. Julián. Ginette.
Present, teacher.
Carlos Galán. Carlos.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Mabel Gamboa.
Present, teacher.
José Alejandro Gómez.
I'm here, teacher.
Okay. And Lisette Tarazona.
Present, teacher.
Okay, very good. Thank you. All right, guys. So let's start immediately. I'm going to open the link for the video. Just give me a moment, please. All right. So this is related to one activity on Unit 1. So first we have English as around the globe, some facts about English. And one of the facts that is mentioned in this text is about pronunciation of this ending O-U-G-H in English. That is very different. So I found a short video that is a little funny to exemplify the different pronunciations of this ending O-U-G-H. So we're going to watch it together and then we can start with the book, all right? So let me play the video for you. I will pause the recording for this part in case we have any problems with YouTube to upload the recording. So I will just. All right, guys. So as you can see, they are talking about the different pronunciation of the ending O-U-G-H. And you remember the words that are mentioned that are pronounced in different ways with this ending in the video?
The question, teacher?
And you remember the words that are mentioned in the video? The different pronunciations? Bow. Yes.
Row.
A bow is rama, bow. We have then rough. Okay, rough. Then we have through, through, and puff. Yes. So you can see in these 4 words, we have 3 different pronunciations. Bow, rough, and cough is the same pronunciation, rough and cough. And finally, through. So even we have the same letters, the pronunciation is different. So this is one of the trickiest part of English is the pronunciation of some words, right? And this is mentioned here in the text. Who arrived? Okay, Elkin, thank you. Anyone else arrived after I took the list? Anyone else? Any other student? No? Okay. All right, guys. So now we can start with the reading activity first on page 10, pages 10 and 11. So you can open your book. And in this text called English Around the Globe, and these are some facts about English. So we are going to read about it, all the text, but we need to identify there are 2 facts in this text that are false, okay? So they are not true. We have 2 that are false. So we're going to read all of them and you're going to try to identify or guess which ones are false, okay? So let's start reading. First, I will read here and then you start reading the facts. English around the globe. 1.4 billion non-native speakers of English. 375 million native speakers is the official language in 55 countries and it has over 175 dialects, over 1 million words, and over 125 million of speakers in India. All right, so we're going to start with the first fact. Did you know? And we're going to listen to one student. Maybe we can start with Yesid. Okay, the first fact.
Okay, teacher. There are far more non-native speakers of English in the world than native speakers. It's hard to calculate, but it's believed that there are around 375 million native speakers and over 1.125 billion.
Mhm.
Non-native,
1,000
I'm sorry,
or 1.125 billion.
okay, non-native speakers, a total of about 1.5 billion.
1.5 billion. All right. Oh, wait a moment. Thank you, Julian. Mhm. Yes, so that is the first fact. There are more non-native speakers of English in the world than native speakers. The second fact, let's hear Silvia. Okay, you can read the next.
Okay. English is an official language in 55 countries. The USA has the largest number of English speakers, 250 million. What? Follow in second place by India, 125 million. And then Pakistan, 89 million, and Nigeria, 79 million, and the UK, 59 million.
Thank you, very good. So it's the official language in 55 countries. Continue, Natalia, with the next fact.
Okay, teacher. Most linguists agree that English has the largest vocabulary and any language in the world. It is almost impossible to say how many words there are, but some people say there are over 1 million. It is said that a new word enters the language every 98 minutes on average.
On average, okay. It's the largest vocabulary of any language. Magali, next fact.
Teacher, more English?
Mhm.
More English words begin with T than any other letter, about 25% of all words.
Okay, yes. Next, let's see.
Continue or no?
Yes, okay. Read the next fact.
There are estimated to be about 175 dialects of English around the world.
Okay, thank you. Very good. Continue, Lisette. Next, special simplified.
Special simplified versions of English exist to help various professionals to communicate Sorry. Okay. Various professionals to communicate internationally. For example, I speak for pilots and air traffic controllers. Police speak to help deal with international crime, and doctors speak to simplify communication between doctors.
Okay, thank you. Next fact, we have maybe Julian. Modern British people.
Modern British people probably wouldn't have been able to understand the English spoken in Shakespeare's time. Pronunciation and grammar were different and many words had different meaning. For example, nice meant foolish in the 16th century.
Very good. In the 16th century. And finally, the last fact, Jose.
Okay, teacher. The relationship between spelling and pronunciation in English is notoriously irregular. The combination "ao" can be pronounced in 9 different ways. The following sentence contains them all.
Okay.
A rule, coded, do, face it.
No. Okay, I'll read it, don't worry. Rough coded, this is rough. Rough coded, dough, this is masa, dough faced, thoughtful, plowman, strode through the streets of Scarborough. After falling into, I'm not sure, how can you pronounce this? Slough? Oh, I forgot. Let me double check.
I think that is loud.
Slow, let's see. Slow. He coughed. This is after falling into a slow. What is here? A slow. He coughed and hiccuped. And then now let's check on page 106 to make sure that we have the correct pronunciation of all of these words, okay? Let's check. Page 106, here. Okay, you can see rough, coded, dough-faced, thoughtful, plowman, strode through the streets of Scarborough. Well, here are the phonetic symbols. After following into a slow, yes, it's similar to this, slow, he coughed and hiccup, okay, hiccup. This is ipo, okay, and hiccup. So you can see this specific combination of letters, O-U-G-H, is very tricky and it has many different ways of pronouncing it. All right, well, those are the facts that are presented in the book. Now, our task, what we need to do here is try to identify or guess which ones are a lie. We have two that are not true, okay? So I will give you a couple of minutes in case you need to read them again, read all the facts, and try to guess. Pick two that you think are a lie, okay? Or they are not true. So let's take maybe 2 or 3 minutes and then I will ask you, which ones do you think are a lie, okay? So let's take 3 minutes and then we will check together. Ok, chicos, mientras van trabajando en la actividad que estamos, voy a responder una pregunta que me enviaron al chat sobre los diplomas de certificación de los dos niveles. Recordemos que las graduaciones fueron ayer y eran graduaciones en general para todo el instituto, para todos los programas. Entonces, las asistentes del Instituto de Lenguas deben tomar, aparte de, ellas no se van a dedicar solamente a enviar todos los diplomas por correo, porque no son solo a los chicos de este programa, sino a todos los chicos o los estudiantes del instituto que lo requieran su certificación a través de correo. Entonces debemos tener paciencia. Probablemente la otra semana ya se esté realizando este proceso, ¿ok? Entonces, eh, pues tenemos paciencia en ese sentido. ¿Sí, Julián?
Teacher, alguien me llamó de allá y me dijeron que si no lo iba a retirar que como no fui a la graduación, lo podía retirar en cualquier día. Si uno sí puede ir cualquier día a retirarlo o
Teacher,
solamente por el
sí, lo
correo.
mismo.
Ok,
A mí creo que el sábado
Yo
podía ir.
también recibí esa llamada,
ok.
Richard. Pero no entendí, o sea, no sé, porque yo les dije que pues yo había informado que por correo se iba a enviar. Sin embargo, me dijeron que pues sí se podía pasar también. Entonces no sé ahí
Ujú.
cómo
Ok,
sería.
bueno, afortunadamente tenemos a la coordinadora en la sala. Cuéntanos, Caro.
Hola, buenas noches para todos y todas, ¿cómo están? Yo como siempre por acá, al momento de las preguntas. Muchachos, creo que ustedes no solo recibieron una llamada, sino es posible que, creo que antes también los habían llamado, les habían enviado un correo diciéndoles que bueno, que si no iban, como que tenían que irlo a reclamar allá en la en ventanilla, sí, pues en la recepción del instituto. Digamos que eso es posible, pero ustedes hacen parte de un programa especial, de un convenio que firmó el instituto, entonces ellos los llaman a darle esa información general, ¿cierto? Porque como les estaba diciendo Laura, las graduaciones fueron de los 6 primeros meses de los cursos que se dictaron en el instituto. Entonces, las asistentes llaman como a todo el mundo en lista y le dicen como la información que ellos tienen allá, pues como agendada para compartir con los estudiantes, pero la persona que está a cargo de la logística me dijo, profe, yo ya tengo en cuenta que usted tiene un grupo de estudiantes y que a ellos se les va a hacer el envío de los diplomas a sus correos, por favor, téngannos paciencia porque pues, sí, o sea, ellos tienen que, después de que entregaron allá, entonces mirar qué personas no fueron y sacar el listado de mis estudiantes, pues de los estudiantes de este grupo, de los de otros grupos y de ver quiénes no están en la ciudad o solicitaron que se les enviara y entregar en físico pues de las personas que vayan allá y se acerquen a ventanilla. Entonces sí, es eso. Entonces yo creo que puede que ustedes vayan y les entreguen el diploma personalmente, pero ella me aseguró que todos los demás estudiantes iban a recibirlo como lo solicitaron por correo. Entonces, tengamos un poquito de paciencia. Yo le dije ayer, ella ayer me dijo, sí, profe, acá estamos en la ceremonia, entonces apenas podamos, les empezamos a enviar y pues yo mañana vuelvo y le recuerdo para que lo tenga presente, pero yo sé que ya está muy pendiente de eso. ¿Sí? Gracias por las preguntas porque pues nos sirve aquí para seguirles recordando a ellos allá que ustedes están esperando recibir esa certificación. No se preocupen. Y si en algún caso ustedes ven que, qué sé yo, miércoles de la otra semana no lo han recibido, le dicen a Laura o cuando yo ingrese a hacer el seguimiento me vuelven a decir, yo puedo ser muy tóxica. Entonces si dejo que no, yo me pongo a escribirle a la asistente encargada de de las entregas para que se canse y por fin los envíe. Pero no, ellos están pendientes, de verdad, es que están bastante ocupaditos. Listo, Laurita, no les quito más tiempo.
Ok, gracias, Caro. Listo, chicos. Ok. Okay, guys, so tell me, do you have any answer, any thoughts? You are going to write on the chat. So, for example, this is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 facts. facts. So I wanted to write on the chat your answers. For example, let's say I think number 1 is false and also number 8 or number 7. So I write it like this, okay? Number 1 and number 7. So I want to see your answers on the chat. This to see which ones have the most votes, and those are the ones that we're going to choose like in as a group, okay? So remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we only have 7. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. So write your answers, please. Write them on the chat. And the ones with the most votes, we will choose. Okay, we have Ginette, Natalia, 3 and 6, 3 and 4, 3 and 5, 3. Okay, so one winner is number 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is the one that you chose. And let's see what other one. Okay, for now I see maybe number 6 also has some votes. 2 votes for number 6. 2 for number 1 also. Number 7 also. Okay, so we don't have an agreement. Number 1, number 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's say number 6 I think was the winner, or number 7. Let's say number 3 and number 6. Elkin, there are only 2 that are false, not 3. So we only have 2. Okay, you selected number 3, that English has the largest vocabulary of any language in the world, and number 6, that special simplified versions of English exist to help various professionals. Okay, let's check on page 106 and make sure what are the correct answers. Okay, let's see, where do we have them? Here, the following 2 language facts are false. The first false fact is more English words begin with the letter T than any other letter, about 25% of all words. This is false because only 16% of all words in English begin with the letter T, not 25. So that was the first false statement. And then we have, I think this is correct for us, we got it correct, that doctors speak to simplify communication between doctors. This is not real, okay? This does not exist. There's no such thing as doctor speak or simplified English speaking between doctors, okay? So we have this one is correct, but the other one was number 4. The correct answer was number 4. Okay, this one. All right, guys. So those are some of the some facts about English language. For now, we're going to skip this part and we're going to focus on the listening aspect of the exercise. It is very important so we can understand the points in an argument or how to introduce points in an argument. So this is going to be a listening exercise. Pay attention because this is a long audio. It's I think 5 minutes or more. We are going to do this activity in the following way. I will explain. So now I will assign 4 different groups, okay? We will have 4 groups and I will assign them now. For example, for group number 1, let's say it's Elkin, Andres, Carlos, and Jeanette. It's just an example, okay? So this is group number 1. So this group will answer the question, what does Dr. Jenkins think may happen to the pronunciation of TH? So we have 4 aspects. That's why we have 4 groups, okay? This is for group number 1, group number 2, 3, and 4. So the first group will listen and pay attention, take notes about what the Dr. Jenkins says about the pronunciation of TH combination and the, okay? So you will listen to it, take notes, and then after we have all listened to the audio, you will write in groups and answer the question. What does the doctor think may happen to the pronunciation of TH, British and American idioms, uncountable nouns like information, and the third person S in the present simple. Okay, so let me show you the activity. What are you going to do here? So I will assign the groups now. I will tell you who belongs in each group, but we are going to listen to the full audio all together, okay? So now we're going to listen all together, but each person will take notes according to their group, okay? For example, the group number 1 has to answer this question, the pronunciation of TH. Group number 2 will answer the question about British and American idioms. Group number 3, uncountable nouns like information. And number 4 is will answer the question about the third person S in the present simple. Okay? Is it clear, guys, what we're going to do now?
Yes.
All right, so let me create the groups so you know what notes do you have to take, okay? Just a moment, please. Let me turn off my camera. Okay, I'm going to send you the picture on the group, on the WhatsApp group, in case you need it, okay? To remember what group do you belong. So, number 1 is Jeanette, Julian, Lisette, and Natalia. Number 2 is Andres, Carlos, Jose, and Silvia. Number 3, Elkin, Johan, Yesid. Ay, Andrés, estabas en 2 dispositivos. Ok, ya te pongo. Andrés solo en el grupo 4, ¿ok? Entonces, sala 3, Elkin, Johan, Yesid. Sala 4, Andrés, Gerson y Mabel. ¿Listo? Okay, so now you know what group do you belong to. We will listen all together and you will take the notes according to your group. And let me write again. Yes, Julian?
Teacher, did you have the link?
Okay, not now. The notes will be individually, okay? El link se los envío cuando ya los vaya a mandar a las salas. Por ahora, las notas son individuales, ¿ok? Entonces, aquí no les envío el link ahora para que no lo empiecen a escribir de una vez. Aquí, grupo 1, 2, 3 y 4, ¿ok? So you take the notes and then after, before you go to the breakout rooms, I will send you the link. All right? Let's start listening.
Unit 1.
Can you listen? to the audio?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. I will put the script also here because this is a very long topic, so I just want you to have the extra help here.
Recording 2. I've come to King's College London to talk to Dr. Jennifer Jenkins, who's a senior lecturer in applied linguistics. Now, Jennifer, you're quite interested in the teaching and learning of international English. Can you explain in general terms what this is?
It's based on the fact that nowadays the majority of people who speak English around the world are non-native speakers of English. They've learnt it as a second or subsequent language. They use it to speak with each other, and therefore they're not really learning what's always been called English as a foreign language, English to speak to native speakers of English. They're learning it for more international communication, and that has all sorts of implications for the sorts of things that they need to be able to do.
So what would be the main differences between the kind of English that's widely taught around the world today and perhaps what you describe as a more international form?
Well, there'd be various differences. There'd be differences in what they need to be able to do when they're pronouncing English. There would be some differences in the grammar. There'd be some differences in use or not of idioms.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything that's widely taught when teaching English that would be missed out in international English?
Yes, I think, for example, that there doesn't seem to be much point in teaching learners to say the th, the th and the sounds, because most of the world's learners of English, speakers of English who are non-native speakers, don't pronounce a th.
And what is the thinking behind the idea of international English?
Well, there are two things. One is that the more different groups of people around the world speak English, the more important it becomes to make sure that they have enough in common so that they can understand each other, that they're intelligible to each other. And here pronunciation is very important because their pronunciation is the thing that will vary most among different speakers of English. And the second thing would be that now that English is spoken as an international language, nobody owns it anymore. The native speakers of English don't own it, and so don't have the right to expect everybody else around the world, when they speak English, to conform to native speaker ways of speaking, that everybody has the right to develop their own ways of speaking English.
So what would you say are the advantages for students and teachers of this form of English?
Well, one advantage would be that they actually have rather less to do, rather less to learn, because instead of trying to learn the entire way of speaking of a native speaker, which is incredibly complicated, and most learners never do achieve this in any case, so they've got less to do, but they're also allowed to keep something of themselves in their English. They're speaking English as, say, a Japanese speaker of English, or an Arabic speaker of English, a Spanish speaker of English, and therefore they are allowed to be themselves in English.
Right. And how do you see English being learnt and spoken in, say, 30 years' time? How do you feel it will have changed?
Well, the English that's being spoken internationally, I think, for example, will have no longer, say, British-based or American-based idiomatic language, because this is not useful for international communication, so that will have gone. I think that quite probably the nouns that we call uncountable nouns, like information and so on, will have become countable nouns for international use. I expect in Britain we'll carry on talking about information as a piece of information, but quite possibly the rest of the world will be saying 3 informations without treating it as an uncountable noun. I think quite likely the third person singular S in the present simple tense will have gone for international use. I think in pronunciation, I think the th sound will have gone, and possibly the sound as well. Most learners will say, instead of th, will say a s or a t, as most of them do anyway at the moment, but it would just be legitimate then.
There must, on the other hand, be students who will want to speak English the way that they perceive it to be spoken in Britain or America. And so what would you say to them?
Well, I'd say, first of all, I'd want to explain the facts to them, the fact that they are the majority, that the non-native speakers of English are the majority. And having explained that, and also the fact that they're much more able to express themselves, who they really are, their identity in English, if they keep something of their background, of their mother tongue, I would then say that we can't patronise learners, that if learners still want to learn to speak as closely as possible to a native speaker, say of British or American English, it's their choice. And the important thing is to give learners choices so that they can make up their own mind what it is they want to do.
Well, Dr. Jenkins, thank you for talking to me about that. It'll be interesting to see how far things change.
All right, guys. So you had the extra help of the text to help you take your notes. So now I will send you to each group and you're going to write on the slide, the correspondence slide, you're going to write your answer, okay? You are going to share your notes, your ideas, and write them on the slide, okay? Any questions about what we are going to do? No?
No,
Okay.
teacher.
Good. So we'll have around 5 to 10 minutes. I know it won't take you very long to do it, so I will put 10 minutes in the groups. And once you finish, you can come back, okay?
That the 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 pronunciation of that have many pronunciations, but it is mm, too important because I don't remember too much.
I put that over the time will be chosen one or two forms of pronunciation, the ones that are most easy for all of speakers.
I have the same. To
Yeah.
summarize, I would say that
When he says like we can use the language in a more convenient way, like yes, because if I want to speak English with you because we are learning English, it's more convenient for me speak or talk with the words I know, and like I don't know like so many idioms, and that's why the like the lady said like you can use the language in a way that is more convenient for you, and you can use the language in the way you want to do it. Like you are not forced to like yes to learn all the
Hello, teacher.
Oh, hi,
Hello.
teacher.
Incontable nouns, la information.
Teacher,
Not online information in the future.
All right, guys, are you ready? Did you finish?
hi, teacher.
No, teacher.
Not yet? Okay. All right. Hello, guys. Welcome back. Okay, let's see your answers. Let's check. So the first group, Jeanette, Natalia, Julian, and Lisette, you had the pronunciation of the combination TH, the or the sound. What is mentioned from Dr. Jenkins is that these sounds will have gone in the international English that she is mentioned. It says that over time will be chosen one or two forms of pronunciation, the ones that are easiest for all the speakers, for example, S or T. Okay, this is what she mentions in the audio. Very good. Now, Carlos, Jose, and Silvia. What about British and American idioms? It is mentioned that people don't have to learn or force themselves to learn idioms because English is an international language, international communication, everyone can use it as they see fit. Most people who speak this language aren't native. People is plural, okay? So people aren't native. So it's much better to use the language in a more convenient way. While idioms are an important part of the language and can add richness to communication, they can be challenging for non-natives to grasp initially. By prioritizing the learning of familiar words, learning can build a strong foundation, enhance comprehension, and communicate more effectively in English. Okay, very good. Thank you, guys. Now, Elke, Yesida, and Johan, you'd had about uncountable nouns like information. She says that these uncountable nouns, they are uncountable nouns, in the future will become countable for international use. The British information is a piece of information. Yes, so we cannot say one or two informations, but pieces of information because it's uncountable. According to the audio, she mentioned that in the future, maybe we can hear things like 3 informations. This also happens, or I see that it happens very often with Spanish speaker students. We have the word tarea. In Spanish, we say tareas. In English, homework is uncountable. Okay, so I always listen to the students saying, my homeworks are this, this, this. Okay, in English, we say pieces of homework. But, well, this is what she is mentioning, that maybe uncountable nouns will become countable in the future. Okay, and for the last part, Mabel, Andres, and Gerson, the doctor said that the zero sound will have gone, the S sound as well. No, guys, but this you answered the first. This is not the correct answer. Aquí me respondieron sobre el sonido del TH, del sa y el the. La respuesta era la tercera persona del singular, ¿no? He plays basketball. She plays tennis. She eats a hamburger. Esa es la tercera persona del singular. Entonces, ¿qué ocurriría ahí? What will happen according to the doctor? Here you have the answer, but it's not the answer, okay? Not about the sound. Lo de los sonidos es de la TH, the y the. What the doctor mentioned is that in the international English, maybe the S for present simple in the third person will also have gone, okay? Or will be gone. All right? Yes. Excellent, guys. So now let's take a look here and tell me, I want to hear your opinion. Do you agree with the doctor? Do you think this is the future of English? Why or why not? Do you agree with all of her ideas? Like, you don't need to learn the pronunciation of TH, you don't need to learn many British or American idioms, that uncountable nouns will become countable, or that the S will be gone in the present simple. Okay? So I want to hear your opinion. Do you agree with things? Maybe with some of these, but others you don't agree? All right, I'll give you 2 minutes to think
I
about.
agree.
Okay, I'll give you
I
2
agree
minutes.
about.
Thank you, Silvia. Yes, let's have 2 minutes to think about it, organize your ideas, and then we listen to all of you, okay? All right, guys, now you can give me your opinion. Silvia, you can start.
Okay, teacher, about the second one, the British and American idioms. I agree because for me, because I'm learning English and I'm not a native person, it's difficult to learn all the idioms, like American idioms, because they have idioms for everything. So it's difficult for me in this way because yes, and even when they are it isn't an idiom, but it's for example, yes, but when they are typing on the chat, and they always like use abbreviations.
Yes, abbreviations.
And yes, for example, that yes, kind of difficult for me because because English has so many words and also so many idioms, and yes, it's like challenging.
Okay, yes. So maybe in the future, that international English speakers won't use the idioms as much, right? Or as frequently. All right. Anyone else that would like to give their opinion? Okay, Jessit.
Teacher, a little example. I agree with the doctor because, for example, in the United States, many persons from Mexico, or other countries of America Latina mix it Spanish with English, and they create other language.
Yes, they are
Spanish.
changing like the English.
Yes, teacher. This person, the English is changing.
Changing, yes. English is changing, yes. Especially because they have a lot of Spanish speakers. So yes, it's like evolving language. The language continues to evolve as every day, right? Every minute, every second. So of course we can see all of these changes happen over time, and maybe in the future it will be much more visible for us to see all the changes in the English language. All right, guys, excellent. Thank you. Well, what we're going to focus now in this part is how the doctor talks or introduces some points in her argument to organize her ideas and give clarity to the audience, right? In this case, to us. So she has like a determined order, organization in her speech, and that's what we're going to pay attention to in this moment, okay? So we have one short listening. We are going to listen to the way that points are introduced in the interview, and we are going to complete the sentences with the missing words in each line, okay? And then we are going to answer this question. How do the introductory phrases help the listener? What is the purpose of introductory phrases? Okay, let's listen to it, and then you complete the gaps in sentences 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let's listen.
Unit 1, Recording 3.
Okay, can you listen to it?
Yes, teacher.
Okay.
1. Well, there are two things. One thing is that they're intelligible to each other. 2. The second thing would be that nobody owns English anymore. 3. One advantage would be that learners have less to do.
Okay, listen one more time.
Unit 1, Recording 3. 1. Well, there are two things. One thing is that they're intelligible to each other. 2. The second thing would be that nobody owns English anymore. 3. One advantage would be that learners have less to do.
Okay, have you got the answers, or do we need to listen to it one more time?
One
Yeah,
more time,
one more
please,
time.
teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Okay.
One more time.
Unit 1, Recording 3. 1. Well, there are two things. One thing is that they're intelligible to each other. 2. The second thing would be that nobody owns English anymore. 3. One advantage would be that learners have less to do.
Okay. Good. So let's check your answers. For example, for the first one, let's hear Gerson. How did you complete the first sentence?
Okay. Well, two things. One thing, they are intelligent to each other.
Okay. The first sentence is there are two things. One thing is
Two things.
there are two things, comma,
Okay.
period. One thing is that they are intelligible to each other. Okay, now let's see, Jeanette, for the second sentence, how did you complete it?
The second thing is that nobody owns English anymore.
The second thing is that nobody owns English anymore. Yes. And Elkin, the last one, number 3.
Okay. One advantage is the learners have less to do. I understand this.
Yes, not exactly, but very, very close. Yes, one advantage would be that learners have less to do. Yes, so one advantage. All right. Yes, Carlos, tell me.
For the second answer, I have other option.
Okay, let's see here.
The second thing will be?
Oh, yes, sorry. It was the second thing would be, yes, you are correct, would be that nobody owns English anymore. Here we have them. There are two things. One thing is that they're intelligible. The second thing would be that, yes, it's correct. And 3, one advantage would be that learners have less to do. So these phrases are used to do what? This adds a clear structure and organization to the argument, making it easy to understand and easy to follow, okay? So this is the main function of introductory sentences in an argument, okay? Especially. So in the next part, let me close this here. We have some phrases. We have similar ways of introducing points. So you're going to decide which ones are good for introduce points for, in favor, a favor, and points against an argument, okay? And we have a third option that could be either, okay? Cualquiera de los dos. For is a favor, against, en contra, and either puede ser a favor o en contra, okay? So we have the phrases here. I will give you some minutes to think about it, 5 minutes to classify them for, against, or either, okay? These introductory phrases. Then we check together. All right, guys, you ready? Can we check your answers?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so let's see. Let's start with one important. What do you think? Is it, I will put different colors. So for, let me fix it here. Let's put different. For, it's green. Against will be maybe yellow or this color. And then we have either, it's going to be blue. Okay. So the first one important. How did you categorize it?
Either, teacher.
Either. Yes, it's either. It can be for or against. Another strong reason or another point.
Against?
Either.
This is
A further consideration.
a point here.
A
Another. Okay. Another, it's like adding.
A further, teacher.
For. This is for. Okay. Giving emphasis. Oh, it started raining.
Teacher,
So,
a further consideration, maybe, either?
Further, oh, no, we are going here, one by one. So,
okay.
Another strong point, another strong reason, it can be for, okay? Well, we can say either, but here we have like an argument for. The most obvious, oh, sorry, we have the three categories are like this. One important point to consider is that, so this is only one idea, right? Another strong reason for would be that, sorry, this is all one sentence. I apologize, okay? So you can read it like this. Another strong reason for would be that one important point to consider is that, so this is either, the most obvious drawback might be that, so this is what, for, against, or either. The most drawback.
Against?
Yeah, this is against. Drawback es desventaja, no? The most obvious drawback might be that, so this is against. The second problem or the second concern or issue is, or with, what do you think? Is it for? Is it against?
Against.
The second problem issue would be against. In this case, let's see, we have against the argument. Otro problema, el segundo problema o preocupación. Entonces, continuamos con el punto en contra, against, okay? A further consideration. Otra consideración. Either is ambos, yes. A further consideration or the main explanation, la principal explicación is, what do you think? For, against, or either?
For?
In this case is for, yes. The main explanation is for, okay, a favor de el punto. We're going to continue this practice with the next activity in point number 7, guys. So let's pay attention here. We have put the words in brackets in the correct order. So you are going to organize this word in parentheses to introduce the rest of the sentence. So organize it, and then we will read it together and see the introduction for the rest of the sentence, okay? Let's take again five minutes, and after that, we'll check the answers together. All right, guys, are you ready? Or do you need another minute?
I'm ready, teacher.
Okay. Okay. All right, guys, let's check the answers for this activity. Let's see, for example, Carlos, for the first one.
Yes, teacher. The main point to consider would be it's important to give learners a choice.
Yes, so the main point to consider, let's write it on the chat. The main point to consider would be that it's important, would be that it's important to give learners a choice. Yes, very good. Let's continue, maybe Andres. Number 2, how do you organize it?
Teacher number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check. A further advantage of global English is that it makes using the internet easier.
Yes. Another advantage or a further advantage of global English is that, very good, further advantage is that makes using the internet easier. Yes, very good. Thank you. Jessit, let's continue with number 3. Jessit?
Teacher, sorry, I don't have the answer, teacher.
Okay, no problem. Let's see, maybe Silvia, do you have the answer?
Yes, teacher. I have two possible answers.
Okay.
Okay. One possible problem with British English or American English may be that, or one problem with British English or American English may be possible that.
No, we start with one possible problem with.
What possible problem with British English or American English might be that.
Yes, it is correct. That it isn't what learners need. Yes, so one possible problem with British English or American English might be that, puede ser que, might be that it isn't what the learners need. Yes. And number 4, let's see, maybe Natalia?
Okay, teacher. The most ¿dónde estoy? The most obvious reason for pronunciation problems is that Learners don't have the sound in the first language.
Yes, the most obvious reason for pronunciation problems is that learners don't have the sound in the first language. Yes, very good. All right, guys, listen. So we don't have enough time to do the speaking part, the speaking activity, but I will explain to you what you have to do in this section, and we will do it on Tuesday. Remember that Monday is a holiday, July the 3rd. So today is our final class of this week, and we will continue on July the 4th, okay? Tuesday, July the 4th. Yes, you have a very long weekend, 4 days. So in this part, we're going to start on Tuesday. You're going to answer one of these questions below, okay? So I won't give you your question now. You have to be prepared for all of them, okay? What I mean by be prepared is not that you have to write an answer for all of them. The idea is not that you write it and then you read it. No, I don't want this, okay? What I want you to do is to read all the questions and think about how you can answer them. Of course, using some introductory phrases to support or make your point, right? One point to consider is that another strong reason for that would be the most obvious reason for that, or one possible problem. So make sure that you include all the introductory sentences that we practice and that we learned today. All right, so we have, you have these 8 questions. Let's read them together, and on the next class, or on Tuesday, I will start with one by one. I will put the timer for 30 seconds to listen to your answer, okay? So this will be a graded activity. I will give you a grade according to your answers. Okay, so the questions are, let's read them together quickly. Elkin, can you read the first question, please?
Okay. Will English remain the global language of the future? Why or why not?
Yes, okay. Gerson, can you read the second one, please?
Teacher, should each country or region try to preserve its custom and identity?
Yes. Should each country or region try to preserve its customs, sus costumbres, and identity, and how to do this? Jose, read number 4, please. No, sorry, number 3.
Okay, teacher, should people be free to live in whichever country they like, or do we need immigration controls?
Okay, so it's a question with both sides. Should people be free to live wherever they want, or do we need immigration controls? Julian, number 4.
What are the advantages and disadvantages of increasing urbanization?
Yes, of increasing urbanization. Lizette, read number 5, please.
How do you see your city, country changing in the future? What would you like to happen?
Okay, how do you see your city or your country in the future? And what would you like to see in the country? Number 6, Mabel.
It's a more global were a good things. Why not?
Why or why not? Natalia, read number 7, please.
Okay, teacher, is it a good it is a good thing to have so many large multinational corporations in the world?
Okay, is it good or bad to have multinational corporations in the world? And finally, Silvia, the last one.
Should richer countries do more to help poorer countries? If so, what?
Okay, so thank you. You have all the questions now. Remember, be prepared to answer any of them and try to use the introductory sentences that we learned today. Okay, we will start with this activity on Tuesday. All right, guys, that is all for today. Thank you. I'll see you
Thank you, teacher.
next week.
Teacher, see you.
Thank you, teacher.
See
See you
you
until
next week.
Tuesday.
Bye-bye.